Everybody, welcome to the meeting of the local pension board. The chair is in attendance in the meeting, but he's having problems with the sound on his computer. So in his absence, we need to elect a chair pro tem. Can I have nominations, please?
Can I nominate Councillor Doyle, please?
There we are. Okay, there we are. That's two. And so all in favour? There we are. Thank you. Councillor Doyle is in the chair. Thank you very much.
Okay, have we got any apologies for absence?
No apologies, Chair.
Have we got any disclosures of personal and prejudicial interest?
Yes, Chair. I have a personal interest as a member of the local government pension fund.
Can I just clarify on that then? If there are members present who are members of the pension scheme, do we need to declare as well?
Yes, Chair. Yes.
Okay, can I declare an interest in as a member of the local government pension scheme? Simon?
Thank you, Chair. Yes, I'm also a member of the local government pension scheme as well. Thank you.
Okay. Karen?
I'm a member of the local government pension scheme. Thank you.
Okay. Any other officers present who are members of the scheme?
Thanks, Chair. I'm a member of the LGPS as well.
Okay, look.
And sorry, Chair, Melissa Perry, I'm also a member of the pension board scheme. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Is that all the declarations? I can't see obviously the people in the room.
Sorry, Chair. We have a member of the board, Rosemary Broad, wants to declare a personal interest.
Hi, Chair. It's I've got a family member who's a member of the pension scheme, so it's a gender as a whole.
Okay, and for benefit of people perhaps can't see the chat associated with the online meeting, Ian Guy has also indicated that he's a member of the local government pension scheme, so can that be noted as well? Assuming that is the declarations of interest dealt with, we now move on to the minutes. Have we all got copies of the minutes of the previous meeting? Is everybody happy that they are a true record? We have a proposal and a seconder, please.
Yeah, I'm happy to propose, Chair.
I second.
Okay, look, we're all in favour of them being a true record. I can't vote because I wasn't here at the previous meeting, so. Again, I can't see you voting or not voting. Jeremy, can you help out?
Yeah, that's approved, Chair. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So we now move on to the report of the Section 151 officer. Jeff, is that you?
Thank you, Chair. Yes, it is me. Members of the local pension board will notice that the agenda of today's meeting is quite short in terms of the number of reports. However, two of the reports on the agenda are quite meaty and substantive, and are responsible for the majority of the papers before you. And one of them, the first item here, 4A, is the statement of accounts for the pension fund, and also the draft annual report that we're required under statute to produce on an annual basis and have audited by Audit Wales. As we speak, the audit of these financial statements is drawn to a close. My colleague Karen Cobb, who's on the call today, to whom I'd like to extend my gratitude and thanks for compiling and completing the statement of accounts and annual report. She's at the moment working with Audit Wales in finalising that audit. Hopefully, Audit Wales will be reporting to Pension Fund Committee and ultimately the local pension board in due course in November with their findings. Hopefully, it will be a clean, unqualified report and audit findings, and the early indications from Karen are, I'm pleased to tell you, that is the case. As I say, members of the local pension board will be used to receiving a similar document to this on an annual basis, because we're required to produce it on an annual basis, and largely the format and content of it is the same, and you'll be familiar with. However, obviously, the numbers and some of the narrative and actions and events occurring during the year have been updated. As I say, it's quite a hefty document. I'm not intending to take you through it page by page, but I'll just draw your attention to some of the highlights of the report. And on page 10 of your pack, really, it summarises the 3-year profile of statistics of the fund. Here you can see it's a 3-year summary of some key metrics of the fund in terms of contributions that we receive from our dealings with employers and members, and then the expenditure that we make to members, i.e. the pensions that we pay to our members. And as you can see there, the income that we receive in respect of contributions outweighs the expenditure that we make in pensions payable, which indicates that we're still an open scheme. We're still very cash positive. We're still generating more cash in our dealing with members than what we have to pay out in pension benefits. That indicates we're still an open scheme. We're not immature. We're not into close down. We're not having to sell off investments to meet pension benefits. So that's a good position to be in. However, in our work with our actuary, that there will come a tipping point at some time in the near future where that position will change, and we will be a maturing scheme in that regard. However, at the bottom of the page of page 10, you can still see that we are still growing as a scheme. We've got more contributors this year than last year, and last year than the year before. So we've just got shy of 23,000 active contributors to the scheme. Number of pensioners has grown slightly, and the number of deferreds has grown slightly. Obviously, everyone's aware of the state of public sector finance, and local government is no different. And one of the levers that the local government and public sector employers do engage in times of budget constraint is early retirement and managing their workforce in a proactive manner. So potentially, next year, the year after, we could see a growing number of pensioners in that regard. However, that's just a commentary on perhaps the landscape that we can expect in the ensuing years. On page 11, then, it's primarily, I suppose, the most important element of the annual report. It's the administration report, because the most important function of a local government pension scheme is paying our pensioners and paying those pensions due and making good on those pension promises to all our members. So on page 11 is the first page of that report, and as you can see here, it's the usual metrics that we outline in this report. And on page 17, we've got a summary really of our complement and complaints policy and the outcomes of our customer satisfaction survey. And as you can see on page 18, 19, largely satisfactory. It's not perfect. Definitely room for improvement, as always in a customer facing business. There's always room for improvement. We can always do things better, and we're constantly on that evolution and on that journey to improve the member experience. We're trying to balance the move towards using more technology, more member self-serve. However, due to the nature of pensions, everyone's personal situation is different. You can't get away from that personal touch, and obviously some members do want that personal touch and the personal interaction to resolve their queries. So having to balance, you know, the move to technology, the move online, while still delivering a top class service is a tricky balance to maintain. However, you know, we're very pleased with the results of those member surveys, and we recognise that there's always areas for improvement. On page 20, again, you know, obviously where members are unhappy, they can escalate their unhappiness via the internal dispute resolution process, and there is a well documented process that we're required to have by law, where members can escalate their complaints, with the ultimate Court of Arbitration being an ombudsman's hearing. And as you can see on page 20 is a summary of ongoing appeals and outcomes of those appeals during the year, halfway down the page. Obviously, we try and avoid situations where we have to go to the IDRP process, and ultimately trying to avoid ombudsman's cases. But for transparency, this is the situation in the past 12 months. I mean, in prior annual reports, there would have been zero on that disclosure, you know. But like buses, a number of them have all come along at once during this year. They're, you know, they are rare, thankfully, but yeah, we do happen to have quite a number of them ongoing at this moment in time. And then on page, and then the admin report then continues with legislative changes and changes to the scheme itself throughout the year. And then on page 50 again, taking up a large part of the document, we're required to disclose the governance arrangements surrounding the scheme. And on page 50 starts the annual governance statement, and which outlines the governance framework in which the pension fund operates. And that largely leverages off the governance framework of the admin authority, which in this case is Swansea Council. Statement of accounts annual report. I mean, you know, the clues in the title. What the readers to see is a summary of the financial transactions and the financial health of the scheme, and largely that report starts on page 95, I think, of your pack, whereby the statement of accounts starts, and as you can see, you know, members of the board were largely familiar with the layout there. Again, summarizes where we get the money from, dealings with our employers and members on the left hand side, contributions, transfers in, and where that money goes, i.e. paying the pensions payable to our members and the lump sums due upon retirement, but also incurring management expenses and admin expenses in actually running the fund. And then you can see that on the right hand side. At the bottom of the page there, it summarizes the increase or decrease in fund value. And as you can see, in 22-23, there has been a decrease in fund value of just shy of £18.5 million. That represents a negative return for the year of about minus 1.67. This is broadly reflective of the market return for the year. The market return for the year was minus 2.71. So the fund actually performed a lot better than the market, to the tune of, you know, just over 1% better than the market. So the whole market as a whole was down on average 2.7%. Us as a fund for the year was down 1.67%, and that ranked us largely in the upper quartile of LGPS funds for the year. And following the performance that I reported to the board last year and the year before, that 3-year performance figure for the City and County of Swansea Pension Fund ranks us as the #1 performing fund for the preceding 3 years. And based on that exceptional investment performance for those 3 years, the fund was shortlisted for Pension Fund of the Year back in September. The chairman of the Pension Fund Committee and I did attend the award ceremony, where unfortunately we were unsuccessful, and we lost out to the Lothian Pension Fund as Pension Fund of the Year. However, you know, we were very grateful to be recognised and shortlisted alongside the Lothian Pension Fund, the Greater Manchester Pension Fund, and the West Yorkshire Pension Fund. These are all pension funds of north of £10 million in asset value, whereas we're a fund just over 3 billion. So definitely punching above our weight in terms of investment outperformance, and we were very pleased to be recognised in that regard. On page 96 of the report, then you can see the full details of the fund account, and which starts breaking down those headline figures into employers' contributions, member contributions, and then conversely, in respect of expenditure, pensions payable and lump sum payable. Just to remind pension board members, in the majority of cases, members are due a lump sum in addition to their pension when they immediately retire, because their pension benefits usually is combined of a pension lump sum in addition to their monthly pension that they shall receive on an ongoing basis. And then the subsequent pages of the report are a number of notes to the accounts that we're required to disclose, and again slice and dice those numbers into more detail for the readers of the account. So for example, on page 102 we can see those headline contribution figures that I referenced earlier on, broken down by employer. So you can see on page 102 the full breadth and scope of the whole list of employers that we have in the scheme, ranging from the big employers like ourselves and Neath Port Talbot County Borough Council to our other smaller community councils, to our admitted bodies, you know, most recently like the Woolwich and Parkwood Holdings, very recently admitted as employers within the scheme. So you can see the full breadth and range and scale and size of employers within the scheme as reflected in the contributions we receive from them, ranging from you know ourselves, City and County of Swansea, 65 million there, to the Woolwich, 8,000. So that is the full range and breadth of the size and scale of the different employers. Again, on the ensuing pages, then those various numbers are sliced and diced into different components. An area where members of the board usually have some questions and like some more information is in respect of the expenses that we incur in respect of running the scheme, and they're on the bottom of page 106 and the top of page 107. These are the other material. On the bottom of page 106, broken down there, you know, where we incur the expenses in respect of running the scheme. I mean, in terms of percentage of asset value, you know, we represent huge value for money in that respect. And again, I'd like to extend my thanks to Claire Elliott, our pensions admin manager, because obviously they undertake the most important job in dealing with it's slightly less than it would have been in previous years, because obviously we may have been sending you to more you know, face-to-face training and meetings, which would have incurred perhaps overnight stay, travel. However, with the onset of online training now and virtual and courses, etc., those costs have come down. As you can see, we've only incurred £1,000, for example, in respect of the pension board in the last 12 months. Again, external audit fees there, you can see £51,000. Again, we're required to pay those. And again, hopefully you'll be hearing from Audit Wales at your next meeting with their findings from their audit report. The other chunky numbers then on the top of page 107, and the investment management expenses. Obviously, the majority of those investment management expenses are now incurred via the Wales Pension Partnership, but they're broken down there for you in detail between management fees and performance fees. Again, you can see them going up in terms on a year-on-year basis. That's largely a function of more costly management asset classes being brought on board during the year. As the local pension board are aware, we are reducing the risk within the portfolio, i.e. moving from more risky assets such as listed equities into more yielding real asset classes like infrastructure, like timber, like social and affordable housing. These asset classes do incur additional management fees, and that is reflected in the slight increase in management fees during the year. And again, then at the bottom of that page, on page 107, you can see broken down, because obviously an important function and evolution of our management of the LGPS in Swansea is how we interact and work with the Wales Pension Partnership. And you can see in that table the costs incurred in respect of our dealings and costs incurred in respect of Wales Pension Partnership participation. The rest of the report's pretty dry in terms of the technical disclosures there, but not preempting or trying to avoid any questions. Happy to ask any questions on the annual report, but I'm not intending on going into detail in any of the further notes within the accounts. So I'm happy to take any questions, Chairman, that the board may have.
On mute, Chair.
Sorry, apologies for being muted. I said thank you for that, Jeff, much appreciated. And I was going to ask if any members have questions. I can see Ian's hand is up. So Ian, do you want to go first? Because if you're on mute as well, Ian, or we can't hear you, you've got technical issues.
I've been saved by technology, Chair.
Unfortunately, Ian, we are unable to hear you. So if you want to type your question into the chat box to Jeff, and perhaps read it out so that the people in the room who perhaps can't see it will know what you're asking. Like, I think the question from Ian was, will the road shows be resuming?
Yes, Chair. Roadshows are available on request. I mean, Emily, our communications officer, relishes going out to meet our employers. She very much enjoys that engagement, and they're always open to invitation to visit any employers. The formal roadshows, in terms of major legislative changes or the update re McLeod remedy, they will be formally implemented when we know there's a bit more clarity, Ian, about what the remedy will look like and the impact on members, and then we can share that within roadshows, because I think employers are quite keen to understand the impact of their members in respect of the McLeod remedy. So when we have more information about what the remedy looks like in respect of that, we'll implement and instigate formal roadshows in respect of that particular issue. But on an informal basis, Emily and the team will gladly go out and run roadshows on whichever aspect employers have concerns about or would like support about, especially the smaller ones, who perhaps don't have the resource in-house to manage and communicate pensions issues to their members.
Okay. Anybody else got any questions? Jeremy, can you help with anybody in the room that I can't see?
No questions here, Chair.
You know, if everybody is happy, then we will move on to the next item, which is the breaches report.
Thank
Yeah.
you, Chairman. Oh, thank you, Chairman. Breaches report. Local pension board members are used to receiving this report. If I just cut to the chase, Chairman, noting our technological difficulties, but if I could ask you to move to page 277, whereby, sorry, 276. Sorry, bottom of 275, 276, and 277 and 278. Those outline the new breaches since the last time the local pension board met. They're well-worn, well-versed breaches in terms of the types of breaches. However, the numbers are there for your information. Disappointingly, there is a repeat offender in terms of the employer who was remitting a late pension fund contribution in respect of its members and itself as an employer. It was only 2 days late. However, it was late, and again, it was human error in that the incorrect back payment date was input onto the system, and therefore we received it late. It has been followed up. They have been reminded. We can only take it on good faith that's been remedied going forward.
Okay.
Happy to take any questions, Chair.
Does anybody have any questions about the report that Jeff just referred to, the breaches report? As I was looking and speaking about that, I just noticed there was another question in the chat box from Ian about the large report previously, which is that is it envisaged that the forecaster will be able to take account of underpin? So, Jeff, that's in respect of the earlier report.
Oh, sorry, Chairman. Sorry, Chairman, could you repeat that, please? I didn't quite catch the question. I can't see the chat box.
Okay, it is envisaged that, is it envisaged that online forecaster will be able to take account of underpin?
This is the million-dollar question, Chairman. In respect of the remedy, because we are having to work with Haywoods because they have to incorporate the judgment you flow through into the calculations and how that is subsequently incorporated in software to I was going to say the chair to Ian's point, because obviously he's not the chairman today. But to Ian's question, that is the million-dollar question, and how it will be reflected in the judicial remedy, but how that actually works in practice is yet to be determined, and they're still working with Haywoods, the IT software provider, in working that through. Sorry, Chairman, you're on mute.
Sorry, I put it on mute because somebody in the flat above where I am was drilling. And the strained nature of an online meeting like this. If there are no more questions, then we need now to move to the exclusion of the public. Are we all happy to exclude the public at this point? Indications, please. I can't see anybody objecting. Is everybody all right with that in the room? Jeremy?
Yes.
Yes, that's something.